Have we ever talked about Joel Klatt before, either on the channel or privately? Are you a Joel Klatt guy, Cart?
Um, from time to time, yeah.
I'm a big fan of his name. Like, just the name Joel Klatt is like a very impactful sportscaster
With
name.
two T's, right?
Yeah. Like,
I respect that because
that.
like I like hitting it with the, what I'm saying? That's Carter Elliott with two T's.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. Two D's, two L's over here.
Yeah. Two L's for me as well.
Yeah, we would need 10 more L's to start talking the Ryan Walters era of Purdue football. See what I did there? Joel Klatt is defending his guy, Ryan Walters, on camera. Why would he do this? I don't know. But Joel Klatt was on his podcast, which he affectionately dubs the Joel Klatt Show. And this is what he had to say about his former guy or his current guy, Ryan Walters. Klatt said, quote, I love what they did on defense, love what they did. Granted, he's an old teammate of mine, but I think Ryan Walters is a terrific coach and a great defensive mind. Remember, he was the defensive coordinator for Illinois under Brett Bielema when they had that great run with some of those NFL players. Then he got the head job at Purdue. It didn't work out. Purdue really didn't support Ryan Walters very well, and he moves on. Now he's back to coordinating a defense, which I think he's excellent at. End quote. The important sentence here, Cart, is Purdue really didn't support Ryan Walters very well. Again, this is a former teammate of Ryan's. It's his guy, but, you know, a fired, I don't know, disrespected coach who might feel a certain way could possibly share how he feels. Like if Ryan Walters felt he didn't have enough support at Purdue, I would assume he's privately told Joel Klatt that, and now Joel Klatt is kind of becoming the voice for Ryan Walters on this. I don't know. Are you okay with Joel Klatt's thoughts here? Do you agree with him that Ryan Walters didn't get enough support at Purdue?
Yeah, I mean it's probably true. But also I would like to hop in my little time machine and I could probably do something good for the world with the use of a time machine. But what I really want to do is go back to the moment before Ryan Walters took this job and ask him, did you expect something? Did you expect something from Purdue football? Like, come, like, what are we actually doing here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did you really, was it said beforehand, maybe the backing that you would be able to receive or anything along that lines? Because, just can I use quick Boilermaker context clues?
Please.
They don't even pay for the sport that is their money maker in the state where it just means more in basketball. So did you really expect like this massive financial backing for for Purdue football? I feel like that's not the right assumption to make here. But back to the point here, Joe Klatt's probably telling facts here, but there's also facts rooted in the fact that Walters took a job with Purdue football and is shocked that Purdue football didn't get backing. Like it's Purdue football. Now it's
Sure.
changed a little bit. It seems. It seems that like Coach Odom's in the fold now, and maybe he beforehand came out like, "All right, saw how y'all did Walters. I'm not operating without any money, so give me something." It's remained to be seen what it looks like once he actually does the games. But I mean, if I put my hand on a hot stove and get burned, I gotta look myself in the mirror and be like, "Why'd I do that?"
Is that what you think happened here?
I think there is something about accepting the head football coaching job at Purdue without like some guidelines thrown out there first that you should expect that you aren't going to operate on a certain budget.
Okay. That makes sense to me. So, all right. I don't know what the expectation was or was not here from Walters. I think you're right to some extent. You cannot accept the job as Purdue's football head coach in the NIL era and expect that you're going to have all this crazy support. I would counter with this. If Ryan Walters had as much support as anyone in the country, give him the best financial backing possible. What would their record have been last year? What would you
Same.
confidently say Ryan Walters would do with unlimited support?
I think their record would have been the same.
I think it might have been slightly better, but like that's kind of the point, right? It wasn't necessarily You need to win games. You need to compete for titles. That wasn't even the bar for him here. It was you just need to field a competent football team that looks like they're semi-competitive. And just to give you like a little background of how miserable this was, I don't care if you have resources or don't have resources. Purdue football played five top 20 teams in the country last year. Five of their 12 games were against teams that fall in the top 20 in the sport. They played Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, and Notre Dame. Card, in those five games, Purdue got outscored 261 to 17. That's an average score in five games against top 20 opponents of 52 to 3. They lost 35 to nothing, 45 to nothing, 66 to nothing, 66 to 7. That was a third of their season last year, was games like that. You have to be so bad at your job, even with zero resources, zero support, to put that product on the field. I mean, we have seen coaches in this conference with absolutely zero backing, zero finances, zero support field more competitive teams than that. I mean, I would point to Northwestern, a program that clearly does not pump money into football. They don't even have a home field right now. And they at least put a competitive product on the field against certain teams. They're not getting 66-0'd. So, like it or not, you just can't defend this guy. You can't. Now, if they were losing these games 35 to 10, then you can start to make the argument, okay, there's something to work with here. But no, this what you saw what Signetti did to him. And by the way, coming into last year, did Signetti have world-class resources, Cart? Or did Signetti flip a program in 1 year because he clearly has a competence to him that now is going to turn this program around?
Well, I think he did have some really good backing from the Bloomington Bucks.
I mean, a lot more of that money's going to football now than it did a year ago, though. Signetti came in and brought his team from James Madison with him. And after 4 weeks, when it became clear this team's got something, then all of a sudden you had ticket sales, which means we can now take some of that money and give it back to the program. You bought the belief of donors. If I'm a Purdue donor, why on earth would I give $1 to Ryan Walters? What has he shown me in 2 years that makes me think he deserves anything?
I can't give you a good answer for that.
There's nothing. So he can whine about it, but you got to earn that. You earn donors' belief. And he didn't do anything in 2 years to show that. The one thing I would say that I agree with from Clatt here is just he's a great coordinator. I think he is. I think he's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. Some guys are just wired to be be a role player on a coaching staff and not be the head guy. And I think Ryan Walters can have a very long, lengthy career as a defensive coordinator, but he probably should not be a head coach again anywhere, even at a school with more resources.
Yeah, probably. And I think your biggest point of that though is that like the 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 implication that the funding would have changed things greatly. That's just it's not how it works.
I truly don't believe it was like, I mean, look, Purdue was not good. They weren't 261 to 17 score bad. Like they had a few players on that team and it didn't matter. They couldn't even field any scoring drives in half of their season. It's crazy.
Facts.
So, uh I do like Clatt going to work for his guy though.
Yeah, I hope that the day when I do get fired from an organization, you ride for me like this.
Yeah. I could
On the
probably
Greg Waddell show, I might add.
Yeah, like Cart he just needed to be given chances to host, and no one ever gave him those.
Right. He just needed the caloric backing to be great, and he he couldn't get it.